Okay, today is November 9th, 12:14 a.m. I'm making this video and it's titled, and them still steal the election. So I'm going to show you this, but this is going to get a lot deeper with me. So I'm going to talk about how a theory that I have, a couple of theories, and how it came to be. And so anyone who knows me and has listened to some of my stuff kind of knows I'm pretty much on the money most of the time. And I'm not trying to brag about that, but I believe in exposing things helps stop them from happening. Okay, even if they're just theory right now. Okay, if you can see kind of what happened and then put a trail to where we are, it can bring us to a place where we need to be. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the electors. Now, I'm going to share a screen here a little bit, and this is basically an article that says, can the members of the Electoral College choose who they vote for? Well, before I go and read all of this, the answer is absolutely yes, they can. So they can go and submit to January 6th to Congress any candidate they want to vote for. It doesn't matter what the popular vote in that district is. So if we go down here, there have been cases, but theory and practice. The Constitution never specifically mentions the Electoral College. It is, in fact, a colloquial, I can't say that word, I'm sorry, term for the process by which the president and the vice president are chosen. The constitutional rules that govern the selection are found in Article 2 and the 12th and 23rd Amendments. Under Article 2, each state is afforded a number of electors equal to the size of its congressional delegates, that is, the number of representatives plus 2 senators. The 23rd Amendment added 3 electors from the District of Columbia. The 12th Amendment, which was ratified in 1804, outlines the procedures for the electoral system we still use today, 1804. The electors meet in their homes states to cast votes on separate ballots for president and vice president. They then deliver the votes to Congress to be counted in what has become mostly a ceremonial proceeding. Importantly, for the purpose of these recent cases, the state can appoint their electors in such manner as the legislature therefore may direct. While the Constitution is clear that states have discretion on how they choose their electors, it leaves open whether they may instruct the electors on how to vote. If so, whether they may enforce those instructions as it was originally conceived, and we're not going to go click there right now. The Electoral College was supposed to consist of a fleeting body of men. They were only men at that time, most likely to possess the information and discernment requisite, boy, I'm having a tough time today, to select the president. They were to exercise sober deliberation, or is it sober deliberation, and afforded some measure of independence in their task. But 2 things separate theory from practice. One was the rise of the party system when the partisans chose electors. It became clear that those electors would forego their discretion and vote with their party candidate. The other was the change in how electors were selected. Early on, electors were chosen in a variety of methods. Some were elected by the district, and some were appointed by their state legislators. However, By the middle of the 19th century, as many states loosened their suffrage requirements, most enacted laws giving the voters the power to choose their state electors through popular election. For the most part, electors have loyally voted for their party's nominee, deflecting only rarely. And so here's a 1952 case. This is the Supreme Court ruled that the state parties can require electors to pledge to vote for their party's nominee before they are certified as elector. The dispute arose out of a Dixiecrat revolt that led to Storm Thurmond's, the 1948 presidential bid under the States' Rights Party, which siphoned 39 electoral votes from President Harry S. Truman, the party's nominee. What? Justice Robert Jackson's blistering dissent wrote, the demise of the whole electoral system would not impress me as a disaster as it is best. It is mystifying and distorting factor in presidential elections, which may resolve a popular defeat and electoral victory. At its worst, it's open to local corruption and manipulation. Once the flagrant as to threaten the stability of the country, to abolish and substitute direct election, to abolish it and substitute direct election of the president so that every vote, wherever cast, would have equal weight in calculating the result, which seemed to me to gain for the simplicity and integrity of our government processes. Anyway, so candidates of their parties. This is another in Washington. The state Supreme Court ruled that the electors' pledges to vote for the candidates of their parties were enforceable. However, the Federal Appeals Court in Denver ruled that they are not, rejecting the argument that the power to appoint electors necessarily includes the power to remove them and to cancel an already cast vote. That court noted that the Constitution was silent on the question, an interpretation that silence means that states lack the power to remove the electors. So who are they in general? I'm just going to skip by. As 99% of the time over the last centuries, they voted as expected. Electors bucked the system in their vote. Electors bucked the system to vote their conscience. Remarkably, Ted did so, or attempted to do so in 2016. Faithless electors have never changed the outcome of an election. Through 1836, the vice president elected Richard Johnson to contingent election in the Senate after Virginia electors refused to vote him in due to his relationship with Julia Chin, an enslaved person. Under the Constitution, a vice president does not receive majority electoral vote. All right, whatever. So just the point. I don't have to go over this anymore with that. The point is they can vote for whoever they want. So let's take a state like Pennsylvania. What if 19 electoral votes? What if they decided to change their votes to Kamala and take Pennsylvania away from Trump and give it to Kamala? What was the spread difference? I forget. I think it was pretty close. So how many electors do they need to bring Trump under the 270 and not bring Kamala up to the 270? Can they do that? Can that happen? I don't know. Because the electors can they decide not to cast a vote? I think they can, which that wasn't clearly identified, but it was clearly identified that they don't have to vote. They don't have to cast their vote as the voters voted. So they could still steal this election. Well, that would account for all the training of the National Guard and the evacuation things, because January 6th would be the day that we would find that out, and we would be caught way off guard. this kind of really puzzles me. So I don't know. Is that a possibility? Because they can't do that. Fuck yeah, they can. Now, will they do that? I don't know. Wasn't it awful convenient how she just gave her, oh, I she just I concede, and even though Biden is an idiot, it's like, oh, we went and we're all good with everything. Americans have the right to choose whoever they want, right? Oh, that's plausible deniability, by the way. What is the fine? Oh, the fine for the electors in the states that have to vote as the voters voted is like $200 fine, and maybe they get fired after, but you can't take the vote away. That's basically where we stand right now. Holy mackerel! So now I'm going to tell you a story. Okay. Did President Biden, when he was running in 2020, say he was going to be a one-term president, that he wasn't going to run twice? Oops. Did Biden say, wait, oh, I didn't do it because I'm repeating myself. I'm so silly. Share screen. Did Biden say, my search, in 2020, he was going to be a one-term president? Oh, wait, what? 2019, he said it. Wait, let's look down. Wait, one-term president, 12/11/19. Biden indicates he would only serve one term as president. Okay, we know what a Manchurian candidate is and whose mother was affiliated with the MK Ultra program. Would that be Kamala Harris's mother? Did they try in 2016 to stick Kamala Harris in there and no one would vote for her at all? So they took the limp guy, brain dead Biden, and stuck him in there and propped him up and put her as VP. They let him run the course of the four years. Well, I don't think he's going to complete the 4 years, but they let him run. So Biden, they need to get the DNC to give Kamala the ticket to run for president, but no one's going to vote for her. And if they open it up and Biden doesn't run, Biden decides not to run. If they did this from the beginning and Biden decided not to run, as he said he wasn't going to, because the plan was for him to only run for one term, but they wouldn't be able to get the primary votes for her, and too many people would complain because you got Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and who else knows what other Democrats, and she could never survive debates with the other DNC candidates. So what did they do? They concocted a good plan. Obama's a pretty smart guy. Well, it's not really Obama because he's not that smart. But, Obama bought him, But anyway, let me get serious. So what they did was they talked Biden into running for re-election. And that no one wanted in the Democratic Party to run against the incumbent. They kind of kept them all out. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he didn't want to stay out, so they wouldn't let him be on all the ballots. They gave Biden the electors to become the candidate for the Democratic Party to be president. Then they let a little time go by. Then all of a sudden he has a debate with Trump. Oh, now all the Democrats turn on. Oh, he's senile. He's got dementia. Well, are you kidding me? Listen, dude, I'm not for nothing. Come on. The guy was doing that from the day one when he was running. That's why we're hiding him in the basement when he was running for office. And they fixed the election in 2020. If you don't care, if you two don't like this video, I can take it down. It'll be on Rumble. He did not get 81 million votes, and that's pretty obvious to everyone today as we're looking back. If it wasn't obvious to immediately before, when he can only get a couple of dozen people to any rally, maybe 100 max, or showed up at a gymnasium or some stupid crap where the kids were already there. So here's the game plan. They needed to get Kamala on the ticket, so they needed the primary, the DNC primary. They needed the electors so they put Biden in. So now, Biden, he's got dementia, but he's sick. We got to get rid of him. Let's stick Kamala in there. Wait, that's illegal. You can't just prop a candidate in there. Oh no, we're going to have the electors with no votes, no people voting, none, zero people voting. We're going to give her all the electors and make her the Democratic candidate. Just put her in there. Poof. And there she is, the MK Ultra's daughter, Manchurian candidate is there. Wait a minute. Nobody likes her. She's not going to win the election. What are we going to do? The same way they got her on the ticket? The electors? Gee, could they repeat that? Yeah. Was this planned from the beginning? Actually, they probably wanted her in the 2020 election. But everybody hated her because she's really dumb. I don't want to, I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Just heard me read. But I'm good at figuring shit out. All right, so there's a scenario for you. All right, so then we got some other stuff going on. Because I can't really know exactly what's going to happen, obviously. So let's see. The New York City mayor just stopped the debit cards for the illegal immigrants. And so didn't they say Chicago and some other cities are following or something? Enough is enough with the immigrants, I guess. Can't afford them no more. So, all right. So now the debit card, $5,000 a month goes away or whatever they were giving them in New York. What's next to go away? Food stamps. Okay, they'll take their food stamps away and then they're going to take their Medicaid away. And then finally, they'll take away their shelter. And so then where are they going to go? What is there, 20, 30 million of them? Oh, take them into your house. Oh, wait, that happened in Israel. The Palestinians took the Jews into their house. Yes. How did that work out for the Palestinians? Came home from work one day and the Jews standing there with a gun said, it's my house now. Bye. Leave or get shot. Oh, didn't they just pass a law in the United States where the Army can shoot American citizens? Does the Army always follow orders? Do the police always follow orders? Every time protesters are up, they tell them squirt them with tear gas, shoot them with rubber bullets. What do the cops do? Every time. If they tell them to leave them alone and let them burn shit down, what do? I'm asking the question. You know the answer already, right? That's like a rhetorical question, right? Judges always follow their orders, what they're told to do. And obviously, Manchurian candidates don't know what they're doing and just do what they're told. It's like a puppet. It's like a little puppet. Hey, do this, do that. That's why she can't talk. She's a puppet. She only can say what they tell her to say. And she's only going to do and sign papers. That's all she's there for. Can you imagine her talking to Putin? Of course Putin wanted her in. He'd probably be laughing his ass off after spending 15 minutes talking to her if she was president. So my guess still is that they're not going to put her in as president. There's going to be so much turmoil going on. Oh, and of course, I forgot all about Israel and poor Israel having to defend itself against some about I don't know, 1 million people with there, and maybe, I don't know, 200 or 300 who have AK-47s and some bottle rockets. Oh wait, that's right, Iran's helping them. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about the paragliders. That's their jets. They got some jeeps, a couple of jeeps. So they got to kill 50,000 people. Yeah, that's a good deal. Oh wait, we steal the Greater Israel plan from right before the October 7th attack that Netanyahu, the psychopath, gave to the UN Wait, does it include all those countries? Iraq, Iran, Lebanon, Syria? Is that the Greater Israel Plan? Oh, yeah, it is. He gave it. Go look it up. So all of this stuff going on, Europe's in the same boat we're in. Australia is on the same boat. We're being led. They're lying to us about everything. It's all been fixed and planned. So I'm going to go a little further on theory and conspiracy and what could possibly be an outcome. It could be an outcome that Trump gets shot after he gets in, or killed or dies of a heart attack or whatever, or his plane crashes mysteriously. Anything could happen. They get rid of Trump. Trump is gone. You got J.D. Vance. Oh, wait, J.D. Vance is a very good, smart guy. He's on the program. What program? He's on the program. He's on part of the plan. Follow the plan. J.D. Vance is skull and bones. Above everything else, you have to remember what a skull and bones is. It's like a Freemason. Above everything else, he's skull and bones. And skull and bones are above Freemasons in the pyramid. And Freemasons, yeah, I'm not going to discuss Freemasonry now. If you don't know that Freemason is Luciferian and what their oaths are, if they give away any of their secrets or anything, what they swear to, their allegiance to, yeah. Just think Skull and Bones is a little bit more demonic. In other words, a little higher degree of demonics. Said, oh no, he wasn't in the Skull and Bones. He just hung out with them. Oh my God. Their list is not public of who's a Skull and Bones person, unless the person tells you he is. If he tells you he's not, that's all you have to go on. He just hung out with the Skull and Bones people. Really, are we that naive? He's Skull and Bones. Don't even go any further than that. Just keep this in mind. Biden was only supposed to run for one term, but they needed to get everyone else not running so that they could put our beautiful knee pad special heels up Harris into office. Yep, so that we could have this. Wait, because I take a second to do things. And window. You're a puppet. Awful quiet, aren't they, about losing the election? All of a sudden, they're civil. Was this their plan all along? What will the electors do? How many points? 19 electors, Pennsylvania. Where's Trump at 295? A couple states holding out. How many states is he really close in electors? How much does it cost to buy an elector? A job, a few $1,000,000 in an offshore account. Promise of something special. A trip to an island. Paid vacation to an island. With little ones there. How hard is it to buy an elector? Probably easier to buy a judge than an elector, but I think electors are pretty easy to buy. I don't know what else I want to say. I rattled on. If you listen to this, maybe you learn something. Maybe you pay attention a little bit more. This was all planned. This was planned. All of it was planned. Let's see what happens. May God have mercy on us. And so I don't, I try. I just want to say this. St. Joan of Arc said something very special when she was going to be killed. And they had a priest wanted her to sign a confession that she was a witch. She said, I'm signing that. Says, child, don't you care? The priest says to her, child, don't you care what happens to your soul? And plus, they would give her a merciful death if she signed it. And she said these words, I am exactly where God wants me to be. And guess what? I am exactly where God wants me to be. And I don't really care. And you know what? I don't need to tell you my story. You can look at my other videos on Rumble with Tony. That's where most of my stuff is, because YouTube keeps taking my shit down and giving me warnings and strikes. And I'm also very censored. I'm extremely censored. I'm banned for life from Twitter. I don't even know what for. I didn't break any rules or terms. They never gave it. I went down on January 21st, 2021, and banned me for life. I can't even make a fake account. I'm trying to figure out how I'll use a different computer in a different location with a different email address. How they freaking figure out it's me as soon as I try and make another account from like a friend's office. How? From a different laptop. How do they know it's me? Anyway, there's your queen. It's over that way. I have to do it backwards because we're mirrored. Okay, talk long enough. I'm going to leave you with this. The last thing I'm going to share. And when it's over, I'm just going to shut it off. You want to make a comment? Make a comment. You don't want to make a comment? Don't make a comment. Don't watch the video if you think you know all the answers. And I'm stealing this from someone else who posted it on True Social. And it's a Rumble video. So I'm sharing someone's Rumble video, and I'm going to leave where you can see whose video it is. I'm not stealing it in the sense that I'm sharing it for you to watch, and I think it's worth it. Remember, God is in control of everything, and don't listen to anything. How about this? When we went to the movie theaters, when I was a kid, I'm 69, they would flash subliminal messages on the screen and little frequencies, little sounds you can't hear, like a dog whistle, like you want popcorn, you want a soda. And people would, man, I feel like getting some popcorn. You get up and go get some popcorn. All little tests. And then we're doing it on the TVs at night when they were going off. They would play the Star Spangled Banner. They used to turn TVs off at like 2 o'clock in the morning. The channels would shut down. And there were subliminal messages. Be obedient, so that movie, look, I forgot the name of it with the alien thing when you put on the glasses. Sorry, I'm just not thinking of it today. So think of it on the computer. Think of the frequencies. Think of the repeats in the songs, how they had to drill things into your head. Couldn't even really understand the lyrics. But now go back and look at those old Led Zeppelin songs. Go listen to Bye Bye American, Miss American Pie. And read those. Or Mrs. Robinson. Even Trump made a little reference to Joe DiMaggio. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? That song was written for Mrs. Roosevelt. The wife of the president. Start listening to these songs. Jimi Hendrix, The Wind Cries Mary. Is that about a sacrifice? A ritual? Listen to things we were listening and we didn't understand. The Gallows Pole, Led Zeppelin. Gallows Pole. Yeah, listen to the words of that song. You can cry all you want, bring all the gold and money. They're going to pull a cord anyway. Doesn't matter. Levee Breaks. Zeppelin from Led Zeppelin 3. Oh, listen to Ramble On from Led Zeppelin 2. All Along the Watchtower. Okay. I'm going to leave you with this video. I'm going to share another screen. And remember to trust God. But keep your minds open. Pray hard. and contemplate on Jesus, on God, on the Holy Spirit. So we're going to put this, because this is for the people who are awake.
Anybody else just fed up with the absolute distraction, deception, lies that everything feels like? It's really hard when you're awake and you have such a deep awareness. It's lonely. It's lonely because no one understands you. People start to think you're crazy. I've been, isolated, essentially. I feel like God has isolated me to a point where I am forced to work on my relationship with Him. I am forced to find peace in Him. And when you find that, it's not something you want to let go of, and you crave more and more and more of it. And you go through this so many times that you start to just feel different. You start to live life differently. It's hard for me to ignore deception. Things going on in the royal family, things going on in Hollywood, things going on with the elites. Like, we all know what's going on. Most of us at this point are awake to it, but you start to see it so fast and so clearly, and it's kind of a lonely place to be, because you start speaking out about the truth, which is crazier than fiction sometimes, and it's crazy to people, and they don't understand it. And when you are living with such a deep understanding of the truth, and and you can spot so clearly when someone is walking in true Jesus ways and when they're not. And I'm not perfect, I'm not even close, but I do my best to live like the Bible wants us to live, right? And when you see other people being deceptive, and then there's all these people out there that, will be so quick to cry, oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Like, we're talking about living in truth here, okay? It's not even about the actual theories that are happening. It's just that we're clear that there's deception, and we just want the truth at this point. We want to live with honesty and transparency, and man, it's so hard. And I find myself in such a deep awareness of God and protecting my peace so much that it's hard to be around other people. The meaningless, what's the weather doing today? What'd you do this weekend? Oh yeah, we're going on a trip. All that stuff is just, it's fine, but it's not. I crave such a I crave honesty and truth and transparency and deep connections with people and deep conversations about life, about what's going on in our world, about God, about, how hard it is to be awake sometimes, to be walking in a more biblical way and turning your life over to Jesus and what that looks like. And I find it tough. Even people that are, in the church, I feel like are all hiding something. We're not being honest and truthful with each other because we're either ashamed or we feel guilty or whatever. But, it's so important that I recently heard it's so important that we confess these things and confess our lives and be truthful and be honest. And that's what I want. And finding people who understand that. I mean, it's like, where? It's funny because I see people on this app and I'm like, I know they're out there, right? Like, we know that there are other people like us out there, but how come they're not in my friend circle? Why don't they live closer? Why are they not in my immediate friend circle? It's just a lonely place sometimes. Being awake is extremely lonely. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. And what do you do with that? it's why I just keep digging in deeper. I just dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm doing this Bible study right now about, our identities in Christ. And it's like, man, I've had it wrong this whole time. I have literally worried more about what my title has been at my job. My friends have thought about my situations or circumstances, what my relationships have said about whether I'm worthy to be chosen or valued or respected or not, that like I've completely lost sight of what we should be looking at, and that is God, and God first and foremost. And now I see darkness and evil so easily. It's hard. I can't listen to the same music I used to listen to. I don't see Hollywood the same. I don't see elites the same. I see the deception. I see everything for what it is. And it's like, man, everything that we thought we knew is not what we knew. It's not. And finding people that understand that and can like really go into those conversations, it's difficult to find. But if you're out there and you're one of me, just know that I'm out here too. So we're not alone.
And with that, with those words of wisdom, good night, everyone. God bless.